In the quiet hills of Greenbrier County, West Virginia, there's a strange and spooky story that people still talk about today. It is a very unusual story because it is the only time in American history when a ghost helped solve a murder. This strange tale is known as the story of the Greenbrier ghost. Even now, over 100 years later, people remember it and feel a chill when they hear about what happened there. The year was 1897. A young woman named Elva Zona Heister was 23 years old. She had recently married a man named Erasmus Shue, who worked as a blacksmith in the town. They lived in a small, quiet place called Livesey's Mill, where everyone thought they were a happy young couple starting their life together. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But deep inside their home, behind closed doors, something dark and terrible was happening. No one could see the problems Zona faced, and no one knew the pain she suffered. One cold and gloomy day in January, a local boy who often ran errands for the couple went into their house and found Zona's body lying at the bottom of the stairs. She was on the floor, but her head was twisted in a very strange and unnatural way. It looked wrong, like something terrible had happened to her. The boy ran to get help right away. When her husband Erasmus arrived, he held Zona's body in his arms and cried a lot. He told everyone that Zona had died because of problems with childbirth, even though no one had any idea she was pregnant. People in the town were shocked and confused by this news. A doctor named George Knapp came to look at Zona's body to find out what had happened to her. But her husband Erasmus did not want anyone to touch her. He was very protective and would not let the doctor or anyone else examine her properly. Instead, Erasmus dressed Zona's body himself. He put a long dress on her and covered her face with a veil. He stayed close to her body all the time, crying and acting very upset. If anyone tried to come near or help, he would get angry and push them away. Because of this, the doctor was unable to do a proper examination. After struggling to understand the cause of death, the doctor wrote down that Zona died from something he called an everlasting faint, which was a vague and unclear cause. After only a short time, Zona was buried without much more investigation. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Heister, did not believe that her daughter had died from natural causes or fainting. She felt deep in her heart that something terrible had happened to Zona. Mary Jane was convinced that her daughter had been hurt or killed by someone. She could not accept the doctor's explanation. Desperate for answers, she began to pray every day, asking for help and hoping that the truth would be revealed. For 4 nights in a row, Mary Jane said that Zona's ghost appeared to her at the foot of her bed. The ghost looked exactly like Zona, wearing the same clothes she had been buried in. In these visits, the ghost spoke to her mother and told her terrible secrets. Zona's spirit said that her husband, Erasmus Shue, was a violent man who often lost his temper. She explained that he had gotten very angry one night because he thought Zona had not cooked meat for their dinner. The ghost revealed that Erasmus had hurt her badly and had broken her neck, causing her death. This ghostly message was clear and frightening. Mary Jane decided to tell the local prosecutor, a man named John Alfred Preston, about what the ghost had told her. She explained everything, the visits from her daughter's spirit and the details about Erasmus's violence. At first, the prosecutor probably thought it was just a mother's sad imagination. After all, who would believe a ghost story in a serious court case? But there were other things that did not seem right. Erasmus was acting strangely and nervously, and no one had done a proper examination of Zona's body after her death. People in the town were also talking about strange things they had seen and heard, and rumors were growing. Because of all this, the prosecutor decided it was important to dig up Zona's body and look at it again. He wanted to find out the truth. A small group of people came together to watch this careful examination. Among them were some jury members, townsfolk, and officials. Everyone waited anxiously to see what they would find. When they finally looked at Zona's body, the results shocked them all. It was clear something terrible had happened. They found that Zona's neck was broken, and her windpipe, the tube that carries air to the lungs, was crushed. There were bruises and marks on her throat that showed she had been strangled, meaning someone had squeezed her neck very hard to stop her from breathing. The story the ghost had told her mother turned out to be exactly right. The evidence proved that Zona had not died from natural causes, but had been murdered. Because of this, Erasmus Shue was arrested and charged with killing his wife. When the case went to trial, Mary Jane was called to the stand to tell what the ghost had said. Many people found it hard to believe that a ghost could give a message in court. The defense lawyers mocked her story, laughing and saying it was nonsense to believe a ghost's words. But the jury, who had to decide if Erasmus was guilty, believed Mary Jane's story. At the very least, they believed the facts that matched her story and the evidence from the body. In the end, Erasmus was found guilty of murder and was sent to prison for the rest of his life. He never got out. He died in prison 3 years later. The strange and ghostly story had helped bring justice for Zona. To this day, Zona's grave still lies in the quiet, rolling countryside of Greenbrier County. The trees sway gently above her resting place, and the hills seem to whisper her story to those who pass by. A plaque near her grave tells the curious visitor, "The only known case in which testimony from a ghost helped convict a murderer." It's more than just a grave. It's a strange piece of American history, a place where the line between the living and the dead was said to blur. Many people still wonder what really happened. Was Mary Jane Heaster simply a grieving mother who believed what she needed to believe? Did she imagine the ghost out of heartbreak and hope? Or was there truly something supernatural at work? Something beyond what science can explain? After all, how else could she have known about the broken neck and the crushed windpipe? The details she shared match the autopsy perfectly. It remains one of the great unexplained stories in criminal history. The tale of the Greenbrier ghost continues to live on more than a century later. Locals tell the story around campfires and in classrooms. Tourists visit Zona's grave to pay their respects or to feel the chill of standing in a place where the past still lingers. For some, it is proof that justice has many forms, even from beyond the grave. For others, it's just a strange legend that shows how powerful a mother's love can be. Was it divine justice? Was it coincidence? Was it something otherworldly? The story leaves more questions than answers. And maybe that's why it still captures people's imagination today. Some say the dead cannot speak, that once a soul leaves the world, it can never return. But deep in the hills of Greenbrier, West Virginia, one did. And what she said changed everything. Thank you for watching Silent Stories. If this tale gave you chills or made you think, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us again for more strange, true, and forgotten stories from history's darkest corners.